Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Kill Team Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Casa de Ben and Caitlin, where I will be fighting a kill team game between my Genestealers and Nick's Astra Militarum. So the story that we've got here is that these Astra Militarum forces were on patrol in this industrial sector of a city after reports of people going missing. So they were sent in to go find out what was going on, and they were on patrol going along here when one of their lead men out on point called back and said that he heard scrabbling. The sergeant instantly voxed forward and asked if Stevens had been having beans for lunch. He hadn't, so they instantly knew it was Genestealers. Those are the only two options. So, Genestealers it was, and they suddenly realized that they were being ambushed. So, we are going to be playing the ambush mission, which essentially has a 6-inch column up to the half here for the defender, who they can put their people anywhere in there, and then the attacker has an 8-inch, has to be 8 inches away from him, basically in a semicircle along this half of the board. His job here is to get his guys off of the table edge over here. My job is to kill them. That's really what it is. Or I guess it's prevent them from getting off the edge, which for Genestealers means kill them. So that's what we are going to be doing here. So if he can get more of his guys off his table edge, then I can prevent from getting off the table edge. He will win. Otherwise, I get to win. So that is the story. That is the mission that we're going to be playing here. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the two kill teams that are going to be playing off. So for the Genestealer Cult, my kill team will consist of, on the front row there, from left to right, we have my leader, who's a neophyte leader with a web pistol and a power pick. We have two specialist Genestealers. One is the combat specialist, one is a scout specialist, and we have a neophyte gunner with a heavy stubber, who will be my heavy specialist. And then in the back there, the rest of the kill team consists of 3 more Genestealers, an aberrant with a power pick, and a acolyte fighter with a heavy rock saw. And for the Astra Militarum here on the front row from left to right, we have his leader, who's a sergeant with a plasma pistol and a chainsword. We have a guardsman with a vox, who is his comm specialist. We have 2 scions with hotshot volley guns. One on the left there is going to be his heavy specialist. The one on the right will be his sniper specialist. We then have 4 regular guardsmen with las guns, and we have 2 guardsmen gunners with plasma guns, 1 tempester with a plasma pistol and a power fist, and a guardsman gunner with a flamer. All right, so going over deployment now for the Genestealer Cult. I've got a regular Genestealer over here, regular Genestealer over here. We've got a regular Genestealer over here. That's my combat specialist. Here's my heavy gunner. We got my leader over here. We got my aberrant. We got my scout specialist, and we have my acolyte fighter over on this side. Going over deployment for the Astra Militarum. Up on top here, we've got his, is this your heavy specialist, or is this a regular, oh, that's a regular dude bro in the front there. Regular dude bro right here. We've got his gunner with the plasma gun. We've got his tempester up over here. Down over here, down to the bottom there, that is his heavy specialist right by the column there. We've got another regular dude bro here. Regular dude bro up front there. We've got his sergeant back over here, comm specialist. We've got his sniper specialist over there. And then over on this side, we've got the plasma gunner and we've got the flamer. So that is deployment. So we will now roll off to see who will have initiative going here into turn 1. So looking for that roll. Try to roll lower than that. Nope, he didn't. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Astra Militarum here on turn 1. All right, movement phase for the Astra Militarum here on turn 1. Everybody moved up over this way. They heard a lot of scrabbling over this way, decided not to go find out what it was and to move over this way. The one guy that didn't just move is his guy with a flamer up there, who advanced up in that direction. So that is going to be it for the movement phase here for the Astra Militarum. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Genestealer Cult. All right, movement for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 1. These 2 Genestealers advanced up to the building over there. My heavy specialist readied himself, as did my leader, and everyone else is going to be charging. So we're going to start with my heavy, my acolyte fighter here, charging into his flamer boy over there. So D6 auto hits because he's a flamer. 1 hit. Strength 4, wounded on a 3 because they're little weenies. That is a wound. 5 up, armor save. He's good with a filth phase. Woo! All right, so he needs a 4-inch charge to make it in. Oh yeah, he's in. Twice as much. And then my scout specialist here is going to charge into both his flamer boy and into his plasma guy over here. So the plasma guy can overwatch because he's not engaged. So he's going to have, he's within 12 inches. So he has 2 shots here, hitting on 6s. Getting 1 hit, strength 7, wounding on a 3. That is a wound. That's going to go straight through, but he's got an invul save here. So 5 up, invul save. Do it, do it. Yeah, with the 5. All right, so I need a 9-inch charge to get into him. I need a 7-inch charge to get into the flamer guy. I'm going to spend a command point to re-roll that because I need him in. Oh yeah, with the 10 inches. And now my Genestealer over here is going to charge into his lasgun bro over there. So fire an overwatch here. Getting 1 hit. Inception. That is a wound. He's been doing real good on these wounds. 5 up, invul save. No, I failed that, so injury roll. I swear if I die to a lasgun on Overwatch. Yep, yeah. What? Alright, so now my combat specialist is going to have to try to make up and charge into that lasgun guy. Let's see if he is truly the master, that the savior he needs. Nope, no hits there, but I need a 10-inch charge to make it in. Oh, and I don't make it. And now my aberrant here is going to charge into the flamer guy and into the lasgun guy who can't see him, so he can't be the savior that they all need. Needed a 9-inch charge to get into the lasgun guy, 7 into the flamer guy. Ooh, 7 inches just into the flamer guy. All right, so now my heavy stubber is going to start us off in the shooting phase because he's readied. He's going to fire into these dude bros here. So he's going to put 2 shots into his Tempester and 1 shot into his regular lasgun dude bro up there. So we're going to do the 2 shots into the Tempester first. So it's going to be hitting on 5s because he's obscured, but he's within half range. Getting no hits. And then the 1 shot into the regular guy, not getting a hit. All right, so my other guy that was ready actually can't see anyone in range, so we're going to go to his heavy specialist here. He's going to shoot into my Genestealer over here. So he's got a hotshot lasgun, volley gun, hotshot volley gun. These are going to be, it's going to be 4 shots, hitting on 3s, right? Because he's a Tempester. Yeah, he's obscured. And he's obscured, so it's going to be down to 4s because of that. So 4 shots hitting on 4s, getting 2 hits. These are strength 4, so looking for 4s to wound. Getting no wounds. All right, so the other lasgun guy here is going to shoot into my same Genestealer over here, who did not keep his arms inside the vehicle at all time and is sticking out there for everyone to see. So here comes his 2 shots. He's usually hitting on 4s, but he's obscured, so hitting on 5s. Getting 1 hit. Wounding on a 5. Getting a wound. 5 up, invul save. No, goes through. Injury roll. Oh, he's out. All right, so now his comm specialist here is going to fire into my heavy stubber dude bro over there. He's going to get 1 shot. It's at more than half range, and it is obscured, so he's looking for a 6 to hit. 6? Nope, no hit. All right, so now his sniper specialist here with the hotshot volley gun is going to fire 2 shots into my combat specialist over here and 2 shots into my heavy specialist over here. He is more than half range, so he's -1 to hit. They are obscured, -1 to hit. He also moved with a heavy weapon, which is -1 to hit. But he's getting +1 to hit from the comm specialist over here, so he is going to be hitting on 5s. Rerolling 1s because he is a sniper. So we're going to do the 2 shots into the Genestealer first. These are going to be hitting on 5s, rerolling 1s. Getting 1 hit, strength 4. So looking for a 4 to wound. That is a wound. 5 up, invul save. Knocking off the table. Yeah, he's good. Woo! And now the 2 shots into my heavy specialist over here. So these are going to be, again, hitting on 5s. Getting 1 hit, strength 4, so 3s to wound. That is a wound. AP -2. It's going to go straight through. So it's 1 damage, right? Yes. Yeah, 1 damage. So looking for the injury test here. Flesh wound. All right, his last gun guy here is, which one? Oh, underneath, down over there. the one that I could never charge because he killed my guy, is going to shoot into my Genestealer guy here. So he's going to have 2 shots. He's obscured, so he's -1 to hit, but he's within half range, right? So he's going to have 2 shots, both of which are going to be hitting on 5s. Getting 1 hit. Wounding on a 5. No wound. Now the last guy up on top over here is going to fire into my heavy specialist over here. So he's got 2 shots. These are within half range, but he is obscured, so it's going to be hitting on 5s. Getting 1 hit. This is going to be wounding on a 4 because it's strength 3, toughness 3. Mm-hmm. That is a wound. Looking for a 5-up save. Nope. Take the injury test. +1 to this one. 2, another flesh wound. And now the Tempester is going to fire his plasma pistol into my Genestealer over here. He's more than half range for the plasma pistol, and he's also obscured, so he's going to be -2 to hit, so looking for a 5 to hit. That is a hit. Wounding on a 3. That is a wound. 5-up invul save. Yeah, with the filfers. All right, my opponent had mentioned it, and I forgot to do it, so we're going to do it now. We know that this is supposed to be at the start of the movement phase before you start writing your comments. I can already feel the keyboard going. But his sergeant here is going to order his flamer guy over there who's in combat with my 2 guys to fight, fix bayonets, and fight in the shooting phase. And he's going to try to punch into my rock solid dude bro there. So he's got 1 attack here, hitting on a 4, right? So hitting on a 4. No hit. All right, so we're going to start off with my, in the fight phase, with my Genestealer here into his Guardsmen with the plasma gun. I piled in over to there, and now I am going to attack. I've got 3 attacks hitting on 3s. That is 3 hits. These are going to be wounding on 3s. Getting 3 wounds, 1 of which is AP -4, so that's going to go straight through his impenetrable flak armor here. So now we will roll to see if he is out of action. And on a 4, he is. And now my Aberrant's going to attack into his flamer bro there. So I've got 2 attacks here, hitting on 3s. I'm getting 1 hit. This is going to be strength 5, strength user, versus his toughness 3, so 3s to wound. That is a wound. AP -2. Does that go? That goes straight through his impenetrable flak armor. D3 wounds. It's going to be 3 damage, so 3 injury rolls. I hate you dice so bad. All right, he takes a flesh wound like a champ. All right, so now my Acolyte fighter is going to attack into the dude bro over there. So it's going to be 2 attacks hitting on 3s. Getting 1 hit, wounding on a 2. That is a wound. That is going to be AP -4, so that's probably going to go through his flak armor. 2 damage here, so 2 injury rolls +1 because of the cool guy scar that the Aberrant gave him. Yeah, with that's way out. So he is out of action. All right, the mighty Lasgunner, who already has 1 Genestealer kill on his notch on his belt here, is going to attack into the heavy rock saw guy who consolidated into him here. So he's got the 1 attack here, hitting on a 4. No hit. All right, so now his Scion here and the regular and his comm specialist, who both got consolidated into by that crazy Genestealer there, are going to attack into him. They're going to have 2 attacks between the 2 of them because they both hit on 4s, both wound on 5s, blah, blah, blah. So that's what we're going to go with. So 2 attacks here, hitting on 4s. Getting 2 hits. Now these are going to be strength 3, so wounding on 5s. Getting 1 wound. 5-up invul save. Nope. Injury roll. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, flesh wound. All right, so that is the end of turn 1 here. No one has to roll to break, but I do have to roll 1 nerve test over here. My injured Genestealer over there can't fail his nerve test, so he's going to be fine. But this guy over here can fail his nerve test. So there's 2 guys out, so 2 plus 6 is 8. He is going to be nerved. So we will come back to you after, well, now we're going to roll. That's right. We have to roll to see who we will come back to you with. So rolling for initiative here going into turn 2. All right, got an 8. My opponent gets 8 as well, so we will roll again. Getting a 9 that time. My opponent gets a 7, so we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 2. All right, movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here. This guy readied himself, as did my leader. He's going to charge, he's going to charge, and he's going to charge. The other 2 guys stayed in combat. So we're going to go with first this This Genestealer down here is going to charge into his Tempester and his Lasgun guy up here. They can't see him, so he is just going to charge in here. Not making it with a 3-inch charge, so I'm going to re-roll that into another 3-inch charge. And now my Genestealer here is going to charge into his Lasgun guy over there. Needed a 10-inch charge. And, oh, so close, but not quite there. So now my Aberrant is going to charge into all 4 guys over here. So 2 of them are engaged, can't fire Overwatch, but his Sergeant and his Lasgun guy here can. So we'll do the Sergeant first with his Plasma Pistol, hitting on a 6. Nope, no hit there. And then the Lasgun guy, 2 shots, hitting on 6s. Getting no hit and getting no, wow, the opposite of getting hits there. So now his charge distance, he needs a 6-inch charge to get in to the far guys, and he is in. All right, movement 4, the Astra Militarum. This guy over here, his heavy specialist, moved over this way. These guys are all locked in combat now because of that charge. His Lasgun guy that was engaged with Mazel, with my fighter here, fell back over here. These 2 guys dropped down from over here. His Lasgun guy up on top here is going to ready himself, and his Tempester is now going to charge into my Genestealer because, I mean, apparently he thinks he's a Space Marine and knows no fear, and he's just going to charge into that crazy, like, flailing blender of a creature over here. So, I don't have anything to Overwatch with, so we'll do this charge here. Looking for a 5-inch charge. And he doesn't make it. I guess maybe there's like some like rusty, like there's like a rusty like stairway here. He's supposed to make it in. I'm gonna use my command. He's gonna use the command point to re-roll that one. So here we go. All right, finally makes it in. After 3 rolls between these 2 guys, someone finally makes the 5-inch charge to get in over here. Just comes down. All right, so at the beginning of the shooting phase, his Sergeant over here is going to order his Tempester over here to fix bayonets, or basically just punch him with his fist into the Genestealer charge over here, and he gave get back in the fight to him, so he will be able to shoot in this shooting phase. That cost him 2 CP to do that second order, so that's what he spent his 2 CP there. So we're gonna go with the fight first over here. So he's got his Power Fist here. So he's got how many attacks? 2 attacks. 2 attacks. These are going to be hitting on 4s because he's -1 to hit with the Power Fist, but Tempesters have a 3-up weapon skill. So he is going to be hitting on 4s. Getting 1 hit. That is going to be Strength 6. So we're looking for 3s to wound. That is a wound. 5-up invul save. Do it, do it, do it. No, he failed it. So it's D3 damage, right? So D3 damage is going to be 3 damage, of course. So now we've got 3 injury tests to make here. So let's see if this is going to be the, if he can roll 3 injury tests like I do, or if he can roll it like a normal human being. Like a normal human being, 2 failed, but 1 will take him out.
Innocent Genestealer.
All right, so now my heavy stubber guy here is going to shoot into his Tempester over here with 3 attacks. He's going to be hitting on 6s because I've got 2 injury tests and he's obscured. So he is going to be hitting on 6s because 6s always hit. Getting 0 hits. And now his ready guy here is going to shoot into my heavy stubber guy. So 2 shots. These are going to be hitting on 4s. Getting 1 hit.
5s.
Oh, hitting on 5s because he's obscured. My bad. All right, so now my leader who is ready is going to shoot into his Lasgun guy over here with his web pistol. So it's pistol D3 shots. Getting 2 shots. These are going to be hitting on He's obscured, and he is more than half range for the pistol, so he is going to be hitting on 6s. Getting no hits. All right, so now his heavy specialist here is going to shoot into my acolyte fighter with the heavy rock saw. He is definitely in half range. He is unobscured, and because he has the heavy specialist, does not suffer the penalty for moving with the heavy weapon. So he's going to have 4 shots here, hitting on 3s. Getting 2 hits. So these are now going to be strength 4, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 1 wound, AP minus 2, right? So that's going to go straight through. So now the damage roll, or injury test, 3, he takes a flesh wound. Now his plasma gunner here is going to shoot into my Genestealer over here. Definitely less than half range, definitely unobscured. So it's going to be 2 shots hitting on 4s. Getting 2 hits, strength 7, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 1 wound, 1 5-up invul save. Do it, do it, do it. No, it goes through. So damage roll, or injury test, sorry. Injury test here. He takes a flesh wound. And now his las gun guy there is going to take 2 shots into my Genestealer over here. So these are going to be hitting on 4s because he's obscured and less than half range. Getting no hits. And the guy that got back into the fight is going to shoot into, which one again? Which one?
The saw.
Into the saw guy there. So he's less than half range, obviously, and he is going to be shooting here. So he's going to have 2 shots hitting on, whatchamacallit, 4s. Getting 1 hit. Wounding on a 4. That is a wound. 5-up save. No, goes through. Injury test +1. And he takes another flesh wound. All right, so that's it for shooting phase. Into the assault, into the fight phase, my aberrant who charge is going to get to go first. So he's going to put 1 attack into the sergeant, 1 attack into his regular las gun bro there. So we're going to go with the 1 into the sergeant first, hitting on a 3. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll that. Into a fill phase, so that is a hit. Wounding on a 3. That is a wound. AP minus 2. That's going to go straight through. So D3 damage. That's going to be 2 damage. Injury test. And he is out of action. And now the 1 attack into his regular las gun bro. That is a hit. That is a wound. Going right through. So D3 damage. 3 damage. And he is out of action. All right, so now my Genestealer here is going to activate. He is going to put 2 attacks into his Scion on the front there, and he's going to put 1 attack into the comm specialist. So we're going to do the 2 into the Scion. These are going to be hitting on 4s because he's got a flesh wound. Getting no hits, and then the 1 into the comms. Getting no hits. All right, so now his Scion's going to punch back into the Genestealer here, so he's going to have 1 attack hitting on a 4. That is not a hit.
This guy's going to do the same.
And now the comms guy is going to do the same thing into the Genestealer over here. That is a hit. Wounding on a 5. That is a wound. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, no. All right. Do it. Do it. Do it. Injury test +1. Oh, and he is out of action. All right, so that's the end of the turn here. We have some nerve tests to take. So I shouldn't have shot with him, but good thing he didn't actually do anything. Otherwise, we would have had to go back and put guys back on the board. But he couldn't do anything. But now we're going to roll again to see if he fails his nerve test, because no one has to roll for break yet. But we do have some nerve tests to take. So his nerve test will come here. 4 guys are out, 4+. 2 is 6. He is good to go. My combat specialist down there. 4 + 4 is 8. He is good to go. We'll do my guy with the heavy rock saw over there. 5 + 4 is 9. He is going to be out, but I'm going to re-roll that with a command. I think I can. 1 second. Yeah, I can re-roll that, so I'm going to spend the command point to re-roll. Even worse. All right, so that is actually it for the nerve test to take there. So we will now roll to see who has initiative going into turn 3 here. So 2 dice each. I roll a 6. My opponent rolls a 6. Wow, we are really good at rolling not the exact number, but like the exact number, but not the same dice results. 7 into a 6. So I will go first, which I'm not sure I'm really happy about that. So we will come back to you after movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 3. All right, movement phase. He is going to ready himself. This guy over here is nervous, so he can't do anything. He is going to stay in combat with those two guys, and then we've got some charges. So my combat specialist here is going to charge into these two guys over here, so they can fire Overwatch here. So we've got the plasma guy first. Yeah. So we'll do the plasma guy first. Nope, no hits there. Close. That would be real good if he was just shooting. And then the las gun shots. Getting a hit from the las gun there, wounding on a 5. No wound there. So his charge distance is totally in. And now my leader is going to charge into his las gun bro over here. So his Overwatch, 2 shots hitting on 6s. Getting 1 hit, wounding on a 4. No wound there. So I need a 9-inch charge. I make it in. Sorry, my opponent was going to re-roll. He actually made the noise before I rolled the dice, and I failed to acknowledge it. So we will re-roll for that injury roll, or for the wound roll. No, still no wound, so he is now in. Movement phase for the Astra Militarum. These two guys fell out of combat with my Aberrant over here. This guy moved up over this way, which is his heavy specialist. Over here, his las gun guy dropped down over this way. These guys are all trapped in combat over here. But now his Tempester is going to charge into my Genestealer because he's gotten the taste for Genestealer blood and he wants some more. So he needs a 6-inch charge to make it in. Oh, and he's in. All right, so that is it for the movement phase. Into the shooting phase, my guy over here is going to shoot into his las gun bro over there. So it's going to be 3 shots, hitting on 6s. Getting 1 hit, strength 4, so looking for a 3 to wound. Not a wound. I'm going to spend a command point to re-roll that. Into a wound. So he's got his regular save. 5 up. No, goes through, so injury roll. 4, he is out of action. All right, so now his heavy specialist over here with the hotshot volley gun is going to fire 2 shots into my Acolyte fighter with the heavy rock saw and 2 shots into my Aberrant over here. So we're going to do the 2 shots into, which one first? Heavy rock saw first. So he's going to be hitting on 3s because he's not obscured within half range and he's heavy, so he doesn't suffer any penalty from that. So that is 2 hits over here. So that is going to be strength 4, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 2 wounds, 2 5-up saves. Oh, it's -2, so no saves there. So 1 injury test here, +2. So roll that 1. No, he didn't. And now the 2 shots into my Aberrant over here. That is 1 hit there. So it's strength 4, so looking for a 4 to wound. Yeah, strength 4, so 4 to wound. That is a wound. I don't think he gets a save. So do the injury test here. Oh no, he just takes 1 wound, so he just takes 1 injury. All right, so into the fight phase. Because I have initiative, I get to go first with my charger. So my Genestealer here is going to put 3 attacks into his Tempester, 1 attack into this guy with the plasma gun, because he's my combat specialist. So these are going to be hitting on 4s though, because he's got an injury. All right, so that's 2 hits into the Tempester. These are going to be wounding on 3s. Getting 1 wound, AP -1, so he's going to have a 5-up save. Come on, baby. No, doesn't go through. He's going to spend his last command point to re-roll that. Come on. Oh, and he makes it. Well done. And now we got the 1 attack into the plasma gun guy. That is a hit. That is a wound. AP -1, so it's going to be a 6-up save. Impenetrable flak armor! Now the Tempester is going to punch into my Genestealer over there. So 2 attacks hitting on 4s. Getting no hits. Oh no! All right, so now my leader is going to attack into his Guardsmen over there. So it's going to be 2 attacks hitting on 4s. That is 2 hits. Wounding on 4s because it's strength 3, toughness 3. That is going to be 1 wound. That's going to be AP -2, so it's going to go straight through. D3 damage because it's a power pick. 3 damage, and he is out of action. And now the other 2 guys are going to attack into my Genestealer over here, so 2 attacks hitting on 4s. Getting 1 hit, wounding on a 5. That is a wound. 5 up, invul save. No, goes through. +1 to the injury test. Oh, he is out of action. All right, and that is the end of turn 3. I do have to roll to see if I am broken. So I have, because I only have 3 guys left on the board and a whole bunch of others that are dead. So my highest leadership right now is my leader with a leadership 8, which I pass. So they are not broken, but I do have to roll for him to see if he's going to fail his nerve test. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys out of action. So a 1, he wouldn't do it, but I don't have any command, or I do have 1 command point left. Oh, it kind of hurts me. No, I can't. So on a 1, he won't run away. He won't be nervous. No, he is nervous. So, and do you have any flesh wounds? I don't think so, right? And do you have to take a break test?
What is it, a majority?
More than half are out.
Only half of them.
He's only got half of his out. Ooh, so close. 1 more guy and he would have been breaking, but he hasn't yet. So, that is going to be the end of turn 3 here. So we will now roll to see who will, to see if we go on to turn 4. So both rolling 2 dice here. I get an 11. My opponent gets a 7. So we will come back to you with the movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 4. All right, movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here. My guy back here readied himself. My leader is going to charge, as is my aberrant. So we're going to go with my leader first. He's going to charge just into the hotshot guy in the front there. So Overwatch. He's got 4 shots here, hitting on 6s. Rerolling 1s because he's the sniper specialist. Oh, 1 fell off there. Getting 1 hit, strength 4, so looking for a 3 to wound. No wound there. He's going to spend a command point to do it, to reroll that. Into a 3, which is a wound, AP -2, so that's going to go straight through. So let's see on the injury test here. 6, he is out of action. And now my aberrant is going to charge into his heavy specialist over here. So Overwatch, again, 6s. Oh boy, gets the hit. Wounding on strength 4, right? So wounding on a 4. That is a wound. It's going to go straight through with AP 2. So here we go. He gets to roll the injury test. Oh, that went off the table.
Dramatic.
Dramatic. He takes a flesh wound. And his charge distance is, I would say totally in, but just barely in. All right, so movement phase for the Astra Militarum. These guys here moved up so they can get some shots on him. These guys also moved up so that they get line of sight onto him. But Senor Punchy Fist over here is going to charge into my aberrant over there. No Overwatch coming, so his charge distance is, I think, maybe in 1 second. Yep, it gets him in. All right, into the shooting phase. Because I'm ready, I get to go first. I'm going to put all 3 shots into his plasma guy over there. 3 shots, hitting on 6s. Getting nothing.
Back.
Plasma guy is going to shoot right back with his 2 shots here. Hitting on, he's within half range, but he is obscured, so it's going to be hitting on 5s. Ugh, no hits. Last guy is going to do the same thing on 5s. Yes, 5s. Oh, 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. Getting 2 wounds. Oh, snap. You got like an elite soldier over there with his las gun. 2 5-up saves. Making 1, failing 1. Injury test +2. Roll that 1. Do it. No, he is out of action. All right, into the fight phase now. My aberrant's going to start off by punching, or trying to pick into Senor Punchy Fist over there. 2 attacks, hitting on 4s because he's injured. Yeah. I'm going to spend 1 command point to reroll one of those.
Yeah.
And now Senor Punchy Fist is going to punch my aberrant in the face. 2 attacks hitting on 4s. Of course, he gets 2 hits. Here we go. Wounding on 3s. Getting 2 wounds. AP is going to go straight through. So roll the D3 on each of those. And whichever's highest, we'll use that one as the injury roll. So 3 damage. So we're going to do 3 damage here. This is going to be +1. So if any of these are 3 up, he is out. Oh boy. Yeah, he is out of action. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the game with an Astra Militarum victory by literally the skin of their teeth. He has 6 guys left on the table who will now just all run off the table and frolic to victory while they manage to basically just physically punch their way through all of... He killed how many of my guys in close combat? Like, I didn't realize that the Astra Militarum were the elite close combat army of Kill Team, but that was awesome. Ton of fun here, and we were just playing. That was one of the narrative missions, which is really cool. And I mean, yeah, it wasn't. You probably wouldn't want to face this if you were playing into like a hardcore, trying to try hard tournament. But playing with your friends, this was a ton of fun and a great game. Like right down to the line here, because basically on this turn, if I'd killed one more guy, I would have won, and I would have had the victory. And granted, he still could have killed me and had the moral victory that he technically didn't win, but he killed all my guys. But instead, he just got the victory and the moral victory. So we got all the victories. He didn't want to share any victories whatsoever with me at all. So, but a ton of fun. I hope you guys have all enjoyed it. I certainly have. My opponent's been Nick, and until next time, have fun.